Welcome, Matty. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak with me today and allowing me to ask you a few questions on voting. So you're a new voter and you registered really recently, correct?
Yes.
So tell me the story of what you did to register to vote.
Basically, they just asked me if I wanted to register to vote. That was basically it.
Okay, and you also told me a little bit about your story, that was when you went to go get state ID, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who did you go with when you went to go get your state ID?
My grandfather.
And why did you decide that you needed a state ID?
He thought I needed one.
Okay, smart
I
grandpa.
don't know why he asked me to
It's
get
actually,
one.
it's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing that he did that with you. So the person who was helping you with the state ID registration then said, would you like to register to vote?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And so because you didn't have your state ID yet, do you remember what identification you used to get to register or for your state ID?
I don't remember. It was a while back.
Okay. I think you told me when we first talked that part of what you used as ID was your actually your identification card for high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then the other question I wanted to ask you was, so your grandpa helped you with that, and then did you help the person who registered you to vote, or did someone read to you the questions, or how did they support your registering to vote?
They just asked if I wanted to register. That was the only question I can remember. It was
Okay,
so a while ago.
that's great. And you were not 18 yet when you registered to vote, correct?
Nope.
Right. So this was your first election that you voted in?
Yep.
How did you vote? Did you go to a polling place or did you do it by mail?
Polling place.
Did you like going to the polling place?
It was easy because the polling place is right across from where I live.
Oh, that's great. And was there a line at the polling place?
Not as long as I thought it would be,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like I went right as the senior citizen hour started, and it was like all these senior citizens got under the assumption, oh, this kid's voting for the first time. Like, let's just all take up all the computers and make him wait a while.
But it wasn't that long of a wait.
No, like, and I did a paper ballot, so it was not as long as electronic. Like, I was not waiting 15 minutes for an electronic.
That's great.
Because it was cold this year for election day.
So did anyone help you like by reading you the paper ballot, or you did that, you were fine on your own?
I was fine on my own.
Okay. Did you have any questions while you were there? And if you did you ask anyone for help?
I only asked one time. It was because of a ballot issue,
Okay.
and the pen or marker I was using kept bleeding flu, so
Okay.
I had to go ask for a better utensil.
And was that easy? Did they help you very quickly?
Somewhat, it was nerve-wracking because my anxiety kind of got the better of me.
Okay, I getcha. For sure. And so did you do that on your own, or did you have someone support you in that situation as well?
I had to go solo because my siblings were both home from school that day as well.
Okay.
So my grandma couldn't be with me, so I had to go at it alone.
Well, congratulations. It's very exciting. How did you research the candidates for who you wanted to vote for?
I regularly watch House and Senate sessions regularly and vigorously occasionally. I watched Duckworth's debate or the question forum, which in my opinion was not very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So you really like to track political issues.
Yeah.
And do you do that other research of any kind?
I wanted to do research on like the basic main three, which was House, Senate, and governors,
Mm-hmm.
and then looked up like some of the minor races. But like I've met my congresswoman now going on 2 times, so I knew that, which was very nice.
That's great. Did you make an appointment to go see your congressperson?
No, she came to speak to New Schwer
Okay,
at Motto UN and ended up getting one of my protocol next time by her.
that's great. Who's your congressperson?
Jan Schakowsky.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah, she's wonderful.
And then the second go on, I entered in her congressional art contest she does each year and met her again, which was funny because she said, "Oh, you're Matty from Detroit." And I'm like, "Yeah." So I have video of
Wow.
me and her having like a play, and I wanted to mention I could intern for her, but didn't mention it at the time.
Well, you could still do that anytime, Matty. I'm sure they
Yeah.
would love to hear from you. So do you have any advice for people who are just beginning to vote or who are voting?
Research your candidates beforehand, and research the like Republican candidate, even though we're in a solid Democrat state. Some of them
Mhm.
have interesting stories, like Kathy Salvi, whose husband Al Salvi ran against Durbin back in 1996.
You really know your stuff, Matty. That's great. How do you feel being able to vote now?
I was happy about it because like I knew I would one day be able to vote, and it was like this election cycle was crucial in what will be the future of our U.S. government.
Right. Well, that's great advice for people. Um, do you um do you see yourself ever working on election day in some role?
I during the 2020 election wanted to work as a poll. I forgot what it was, election judge, and then like I got looked through the paperwork, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to stay awake this whole day because I need
Okay.
to eat something middle of the day.
Okay.
And I said I would be asleep by like halfway mark because
Right.
I have a pre-election plan every year, which is wait till returns come in and just do stuff.
That's great. Well, I know that they do, just so I don't want to don't rule it out ever as being an election judge. You do get time to eat and everything. They make sure that you're going to be okay. So
Yeah,
if
good
you
to
wanted
know.
more information on that, we can help get
Yeah.
that for you. Um, okay. Anything else you'd like to add about voting, Matty?
It was interesting because I was trying to find more info on Kathy Salvi this year, see what her stance is on ADA and Americans with Disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
and her stance with Trump was. And
Mm-hmm.
her website was not very helpful on like mentioning her main issues. Like I wanted to know what her opinion on Trump would be and what her stance on ADA would have been.
I think that's great to mention that that's one of the things we talk about is how voter information and voter registration and voter sites are accessible to people with disabilities, and also researching where candidates stand on disability issues. So I think you've pointed
Yeah.
out some really good information for people too. That's really helpful, Matty. Thank you.
And I
So
knew Duckworth's stance on ADA already, which was for it because she's a disabled person herself. But other than that, like Salvi, it was slim picking on her whole because she's never held federal office or local office in the state. So
mhm,
I could like I get it. She's not a well known figure in American the Illinois politics, but at
mhm,
least like mention what your stance is on Trump
mhm.
with the MAGA movement widening.
So, Matty, you are so informed. So, thank you. I'm going to conclude our interview. And I want to say thank you again, Matty. We really appreciate you sharing with us the importance of registering to vote, educating others, and using your power to vote. Thank you.